Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I will have 3 line item transfers. The first one is for the county clerk's office from conference and seminars for $3,108 to her office equipment of $3,108, and that is for the purchase of 5 Dell Optiplex 77 computers. The next one I'll have will be for precinct 2, from fuel for $5,000 to his equipment for $5,000, and this is to purchase a 0-turn lawnmower.
And also I was kind of short on I didn't put enough money because the maintenance was higher than I thought it was. Huh? It's a John Deere for the barn, for around the yard.
What's out of it?
It's a 48-inch deck, and it's got the big one. It was $3,100. But I had to put extra because I didn't have enough to buy the maintainer.
Well,
The was 119.
Well, the next line item transfer that I'll have is for precinct 2, and it's from fuel to his office equipment for $18,760, and that is to purchase his John Deere 770G motor grader. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions of the auditor? All right, if not, our next item will be the treasurer's report.
Okay, Judge, I'm asking the court to approve an amount. When we do drug testing for the CDL drivers, apparently some of the rules are changing, and I know y'all know that, you know, with CDL drivers. And one thing they're wanting us to do is to pay for so many at a time in advance, okay? And so I'm asking the court to allow us to purchase either 25, which is good, because they pick up randomly, and I think y'all probably have a better idea of how often we do it annually. You know, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, I believe. And so they usually pick one from each precinct. So I think 25 would be sufficient for a year. So
What's the cost? 25.
give me 1 second, Judge. The 25 is, I'm sorry, it's 20. It's 20 for
Okay.
25.
20 for 25?
Yes, sir. And 50 for 62.50. So I just need an approval for an amount. And this is all done online, so we would have to purchase it with a credit card. And Melinda and I talked about it, we got that figured out. So I need y'all to recommend how many, whether we want the 20 or the 50. Again, the 20 is $25 and the 50 is $62.50.
And that $25 per client, per week?
No, it's a group. It's like a
$25 per group.
yeah, not per individual. It's 25 for 20 of it. Yes. So whatever y'all think. So
Okay.
anyway, I'll be asking for that on Monday.
All right. And then at 10, we'll be in executive session with Ralph Wallace from TCODRS about a situation that he's needing to visit with us about. Anything else or any questions of the treasurer? All right. Go down to my item, and we have a guest this morning. The superintendent from Petersburg is here. I've been in discussion with him and the superintendent from Abernathy about having an outdoor graduation ceremony. Of course, this has been so fluid. I mean, when we have conversations and we think we've sort of got a handle on it, it gets changed on us. And so I'm going to go ahead and have him speak as to what they're wanting to do in Petersburg, and then we'll go over the latest TEA guidelines that I printed off on May 5th in our conversation, adjusted even as we're speaking. So Doctor, if you would come, if you would just state your name for the record, and then whatever you want to tell us, we'd like to hear.
Okay. My name is Brian Bibb. As the judge mentioned, I am the superintendent at Petersburg, and I greatly appreciate the opportunity to come and talk with you guys today. And hopefully we can find a way to be able to have a graduation ceremony that fits what our students and their parents and community want to have, as close to traditional as possible. Obviously, as the judge mentioned, it changes every day for the things we're being told and what's possible. The fact that we're even being allowed the chance to possibly do something in person is really about as good as what we can hope for our kids. So hopefully we can be able to give you something today to let you know what we're after and hope that approved. So what we're looking for to do an outdoor ceremony, we have a graduating class of 15. So it's a small group. We would like to put a cap on our attendees at 5 per graduate, which would be 75 members of whoever they select that would be allowed to sit in the stands. We would social distance them. The 5 seats that they would have for those families, we would put them with plenty of distance in between, the minimum of 6 feet, and we would have them spaced throughout the stands. We would have masks be something that would be strongly suggested. Obviously, you have some people that are going to think that they don't need that or that they don't want to follow that, but it's going to be a strong suggestion on our part that they wear face coverings. We're going to have the proper procedures there with hand sanitizer, with glove recommendations, those things for the people in attendance. We have space around our field where people can drive in and park. That is something that we've discussed, that they would have the ability to come if they were not able to sit in the stands and possibly be able to park around the field and stay in their vehicles to, again, observe social distancing. We can be able to put those spaces in between. But that's something I'm definitely willing to negotiate on that aspect of it, that does not have to be done at all. We plan to live stream the ceremonies that people can be able to watch that from home, and that way it's an option for people that cannot attend. Our graduates on the field would be spaced that minimum of 6 feet apart. Diplomas would be handled by our board president. He would be wearing gloves. We would switch gloves in between each diploma. That's something that we've been doing that with our food service anyway, so that's not a challenge. We're kind of prepared for that aspect of it. Anybody that would be there with our graduates, with our school personnel, again, we would be wearing face coverings to make sure that we're trying to be as safe and appropriate as possible. Some of our plans, we were going to be able to schedule our graduates and their families arriving at certain times to where, again, as the graduate and their family get there, they're able to go to where they need in the stands and, again, be able to maintain that social distance. And same way whenever they leave, the graduate and their family would leave at the same time. No pictures, no gatherings, anything like that before or after. They can do that on their own. We're just not going to be able to provide for that at this time. We've always done ceremonies with handing out roses and things during. We're going to give them their rose, but that's not going to be something that they're going to be able to do on their way out. Since they'll be exiting with their family, they can give that to them whenever they leave. Really, from our plans, that's the majority of what we have. We would not need many school personnel, obviously, to help out by the nature of the number of people. The ones that are helping with the graduation class on the field, it is myself, our counselor, and 2 board members. So we would have those to help on the field. We would have a few to help with making sure that people are able to get up in the stands, maintain the proper protocols there. So I was figuring with 75 people up there, we would probably need an additional 5 staff members for that part. I figured that would be enough to be able to accommodate that. Obviously, for backup plans, if weather's a factor, then we're just having to move to the next day and try to find a time where the weather cooperates with us to get it done, to be able to do that as an outdoor ceremony. Our students really do not want to do a virtual ceremony. We've presented those options to them. I'd seen a couple that I thought were great options. That would be more than sufficient for what they would need. But our students, they've been pretty adamant they don't want that. They want to try to do something in person if at all possible. And that's really the main objective that I want to accomplish, is be able to give them some type of ceremony that fits with what they want. So, as the judge mentioned, there's so many options out there and things that change, and we're open to whatever. I'm really, hoping that we can find a way to be able to do this in person. The fact that we're even able to consider early June. Our earliest date would be June the 1st by the recommendations that are here. Really, we would talk to our students and see. June the 1st is a Monday. Monday night might not be the best night for them. Typically in Petersburg, Thursday night has kind of been the preferred date. They liked doing that where it wouldn't compete, so that would be Thursday, June the 4th, if that was their chosen option, but we would give them the choice of nights that week, anytime after June the 1st, to be able to do that. So that is really, kind of what I have as far as a plan, and glad to answer any questions, any clarifications, anything at all that y'all need from me to further communicate our plans or help to develop that.
Well, it certainly sounds like y'all have thought this out and have a good plan of action. I know this is, a difficult time, and we'd like to make their graduation as normal as could be, due to the fact of the situation that they've been involved in since March and on. So, I printed this off, and y'all, if y'all don't have one in your packet, I can get you one after court. It's the guidelines for graduation from the PEA. And they give 4 options. As Dr. Bibb mentioned, one of them is a completely virtual ceremony. And then there's a hybrid ceremony, a vehicle ceremony, and then a outdoor ceremony. There is a stipulation in here that from May 15th to May 29th, that certain areas, rural areas, could have outdoor graduations. I did research that. We don't lie in that category. That is the category where if you only have less than 5 active cases in your county, then you're able to apply for that exemption. You have to apply for it 7 days prior to the event taking place. And in that 7 days, if you fluctuate, if we would apply with 4 cases and in that 7 days have another case, then we wouldn't be able to do it. So the best case scenario is right now, wait till after June 1st. Dr. Bibb said that there was talk of changing it where since June 1st wasn't a Monday, that they may move it back to that weekend prior to June 1st. And like I said, I would think if they did that, then whenever y'all could schedule it, would work good for you. So I certainly wouldn't have any issues with it. Does anyone else on the court have any questions or concerns? Just in the discussion that we had with the health department in the city of Plainview, Plainview High had planned the graduation on May 22nd, and to my understanding, they have moved that to June 1st, or a date after June 1st. So, okay. Well, if there's no other questions, Doctor, thank you for coming and visiting with us this morning. Best of luck to you.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
And like I said, I was in discussion with the superintendent from Abernathy, but our discussion took place before these TEA guidelines were put out, so I would assume because their graduation, he had also planned for like May 22nd, so some of those things would be pushed back.
How many graduates would they have?
I'm not sure what their graduation goal is.
Not sure either.
I would think maybe close to 100, but I'm not sure.
The thing about Petersburg is it's small enough, you can do the social distancing pretty easy.
Well, Petersburg is in Cotton Center. They're in a unique situation. If they were located in a county just a few miles away, they would be able to do that because they'd fall under that 5 or under cases. But since they're in Hale County, they're bound by the guidelines that govern Hale County, so they just have to put it off till June 1st.
So my thing about that, I have not knowing how many graduates, they social distancing.
Yeah. All right. The other items that I have for this morning is a Health Center EMS report for March 20th. They had 20 transfers, 19 EMS calls. 33 of those, for a total of 39. They had 33 of those within the city and 6 outside the city, for a total of 39 calls. They had 7 no transports, so they had 32 billable runs. And they list where those runs were, or those transfers were made to. On their financial sheet, they show a total expense of $89,847.93. And let's see, total income of $38,217.22. And then the next item I have is the UMC EMS first quarter report. They list 5 responses, 1 in the designated area and 4 outside the area. The 4 outside the area, they responded 4 times to Petersburg. And so that was their running report. On those 2 EMS reports, are there any questions? Okay, I'll present those for approval on Monday. The next item I have is we have a couple of grant opportunities that we have. The first one is a grant called the CTIF grant program. It is the County Transportation Infrastructure Fund is what that acronym CTIF stands for. It is a $250 million project from the state to counties to help with the repair or improvement of county roads, with the primary focus being problems that have a relation to the energy sector, activities on your county roads. Each county has been allotted funds. Hale County has been allotted, let's see if I can find the total here. I know it's 182,000, but I don't have, okay. Okay, thank you, Melissa. 182,330, and in this grant, Hale County must match 10%, which would be a total of 18,233.33. And we've also been asked by Allison Bass and McGee, law firm out of Austin, that they would do the work for us in applying for these grants for a 5% total of they would receive for doing that work. Another option that we have is that if I could get a couple of commissioners to volunteer to take on this project, that Jim Tyree had mentioned that if they would fill out the application and gather the items needed to submit for the application, that he would be more than happy to review everything and make sure that we were in compliance with their regulations that they're asking for, and just do it ourselves. And so, I guess on Monday. Now, this grant has to be turned in by May 27th, so it's a short time frame. However, looking at the requirements, really the application is going to just require someone to fill it out. They ask for a copy of the county road report. They ask for copies of if you took part in the 2014 grant program, which we did not, and so we wouldn't have to come up with the information on that to turn it in. But if y'all would think about it over the weekend, and if 2 of you would step forward and be willing to take that on and work with Jim, or if you, as a court, decide that you want to hire the law firm to do it for us, whatever options y'all choose would be what we're looking at. Now, the 180, understanding the 182 is a minimum. It depends on the number of counties that apply for this. If some of the counties don't apply, then our portion could be higher than but I think 182, 333 is considered the minimum that we would receive. Any questions on that grant? All right, the next item I have is a SPAG grant. This it comes from the federal government, but it's being filtered down through the governor's office. It is in response to COVID-19, and there's some different options that you can use the grant money for. I know you can buy PPE equipment. You can use funds if you've had COVID cases within the county jail. You can buy supplies with it. And I can't remember the fourth thing, but there are 4 options. This will go before the SPAG Board of Directors on Tuesday to see if the board will approve it. And the total grant for the region, for the SPAG region, is $808,000. I would like to hold off on giving our totals because they've changed as of yesterday. When we first listened to a meeting, they gave us numbers, and then I received a voicemail later in the day, and our numbers had changed. And so what I'd like to do is we'll just present this, and it requires an application to be turned in. What we would do is do the application and turn that into SPAG, and then SPAG would gather all their counties and their cities and work those grants in and forward those to the governor's office. And so that's a grant that we're looking at. Of course, the main interest for us, I would think, would be the PPE equipment to replenish what we've exhausted during this crisis and to prepare in case we have another one. So, are there any questions on that grant? You might also, if you get a chance, make the other cities within the area aware that they have an option to apply for those grants for each one of us, for Abernathy, Health Center, Petersburg, of course, City of Plainview, and the county are all eligible for that grant. So, and that concludes our agenda for today. Any questions about today's agenda? All right, if y'all want, I gave you a copy of Monday's agenda. Let's see here. Melinda, she's already told us what she has. Ida shows that she is going to have a review and approval of the first quarter investment portfolio in addition to the items we talked about earlier. The county clerk has a proposal for Reed Glass to install temporary safety glass hardware at the front counter of her office for a cost of $1,858.33. Chris, do you have anything on that?
No, she said also it would be paid out of permanent improvement.
She's requesting that it be
Requesting.
paid out of
Okay.
it would come out of, right here.
This would be similar to the things over at the tax office and the judge's office.
It would come out of what's considered the courthouse, permanent improvement.
Okay. Any other questions about that? All right, and then on my items, let's see, I'll have a Petersburg EMS report for April. And then the grant information that we just talked about. And then item H, just to report that Rocio and I have taken our cybersecurity training and completed that. So I have a copy of our little certificate to go in our file in the clerk's office, and just encourage everyone that is due before June 15th and to log on to TAG and take that training. It says 45 minutes. It's pretty close to that, about 30 minutes of
Did
training.
you get the certificate?
Once you complete it, you can print it off.
I guess I missed that part.
And it's not really a certificate, it's a little certificate, but it's just some type of documentation saying that you've completed the training.
It's just a good thumbs up.
Yeah.
Kenny, I believe Monica did that for you, so you're
Okay.
good. We had another employee that didn't print it, so.
Rocio went back and printed hers, and so, like I said. And then the county attorney, each of you got a Garrison FBO agreement in your packet. So if you would, over the weekend, look through that. Jim has drawn this up and says that issues, but he couldn't be here this morning. Hopefully he'll be here on Monday. So if you have any questions, they can ask him about that on Monday. Commissioner Precinct 1.
I found the dump truck online, the Circle D truck in Abilene. And now I'm debating on whether I'm gonna go look at it, because one of my brother-in-laws who's been in the trucking business is trying to talk me out of buying this brand new truck. So I may or may not in the morning, but I'm gonna keep looking anyway, so I'll let y'all know.
All right. And then our last item is Carla.
I'm on there to renew the antivirus license for all the computers, and then also to put plexiglass. I'm going a different route because our counter's so big. I'm buying individual sections of plexiglass stands.
Kind of like what they're doing at the supermarkets.
Yeah, mine are framed out. That's the only difference. Yeah, so, and they look real nice. And I found them on Amazon.
Anyone have any questions, comments?
Oh, and I'm going to want mine paid out of permanent improvement to the place
At the Justice Center.
at the Justice.
Comes out of the Justice Center building.
All right, then, if you don't have anything else, then-
Judge, do we have an executive session at 10?
that is with Ida's guy, it's with TCDRS, and it's under items, Ida's item, and he's going to discuss a replacement benefit arrangement that has occurred here in the county.
Today.
And that will be an executive session. That'll be on Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Rocio put that on both days, and so it actually won't occur till Monday morning. So if we don't have any, I say something. You're right. Did you have anything you wanted to?
No, I'm sorry I'm late. I just didn't know if anyone had a question of me. I just found out this morning what was on the agenda, so
Okay.
I apologize.
Well, Jim couldn't be here this morning, and so hopefully he'll be here Monday.
Okay.
But he did place a document in each commissioner's box, and we've asked him to look at it. We'll discuss it on Monday.
Okay.
All right? All right, if there's nothing else, then we'll stand adjourned at 10:01 a.m. Thank y'all. Have a good week.